As I combine on the juice of the mind, heal up, wheel up, bring it back, come rewind. Yo, that was Busta Rhymes, man, back in 191 with the scenario. Classic album from Tribe Called Quest, The Lower End Theory. Wow. That 1990, 1991, 92? Yikes. Still feel good listening to that song. All right. So, recap time. We just talked about Indiana and Mike Woodson. He's on fire. He's going nuclear. He's gonna raid the transfer portal, gonna pull in some guys. He had a 5-star recruit pull out. He's got some pieces coming back at a transfer from Ball State. I know the good folks at the Hoosier Connect in the NIL Collective, they're gonna go ahead and match some money and some funds, and we're gonna go ahead and get a lot of kids, and Indiana's gonna look like a fab. No, I'm just joking, but it's gonna be it's gonna be competitive. Also, we talked about Dan Monson and who has it better than us? Nobody. Love every bit of that. Dan's got the best story of the day so far. Gonna go ahead and jump from the Big Ten in college basketball to the Big Ten in college football. This story comes to you out of Football Scoop from Zach Barnett. Trev Albert is taking the AD job at Texas A&M, and it stunned Nebraska fans, and it stunned them because it was one of his own. Yep, Trev Albert was Nebraska through and through, and he got out of Dodge like no tomorrow. So they don't have an athletic director right now as I'm recording this show. So that may change soon. However, the president, Ted Carter, he left last year in August to become the president of Ohio State. Yeah, that's even worse. So you got no AD and you got no president. And beyond all of this, the people in Nebraska had a right to feel worried and had a lot to be frightened about because nobody is driving the car. Plus, how can you sign off on deals if you don't have a president? I've never understood that. The president is supposed to sign off on all new hires. And you're hiring people without a president. Who's signing these deals? Yeah. You lose a president to the Big Ten at Ohio State, then the AD bounces to the SEC with Texas A&M. Yet with all of that on the table, there stepped in a brave man to quiet the crazy. And just who was that masked man, you ask? Who is that masked man? It was none other than Matt Rhule, the disgraced Carolina Panthers former coach in the NFL. Matt Rhule was scheduled to speak to the media to preview his team's spring practice, but he spent the first 12 minutes on Monday's press conference calming the natives and selling the masses on the future of Nebraska. Yes, what did the wise Matt Rhule say? Tell me what the wise Matt Rhule say. And we'll get back into it when we come back from a quick 20 from an unofficial sponsor of the show. This is Big Vern at App Stupid. Roll the clip. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. Download the app or order online. Papa John's, better ingredients, better pizza. All right, so when we last left off, our faithfully brave Cape Crusader, no, the very wise Matt Rhule was going to go ahead and give us some pearls. He was going to give us some gems of wisdom. What do you say, Matt? I would not send my son here if I didn't think it was an amazing place. What? Trust me, bro. I know you think that place is amazing because they're cutting you a check. Also, stop it with the son thing because your kids get to go to Nebraska for free because you're an employee. So let's knock it off. My wife is opening a business down in South Lincoln, so she's going to take your money. You're taking the university's money, and then she's taking your money, and then the kids are going to college for free. This is a good place. We would not invest our money and our future in a place where we did not believe in. Nah, I think you got another house somewhere else. I'm not sitting here saying that you don't live in Nebraska, the state, but I think you got a house somewhere else, like a summer home. Just saying. Because most of the people in Nebraska don't have money to have summer homes. Most of the people in Omaha and good people of Lincoln live there year-round. Some of the hardworking folks at Lincoln have to work 2 jobs just to make ends meet. Some of the good folks in Omaha got to pull 2 shifts and barely see their kids. You don't have those issues. You have none of those issues. However, we love the state of Nebraska. We love Omaha. We love Lincoln. We love everywhere that we've been and everyone that we've met. How many people have you met, man? You said you only been to 2 cities. You've been to 2 cities, man. And I'm not sitting here being sarcastic or pessimistic about Matt Rhule and his being sincere and genuine because he's the last man standing. Remember, there is no AD. There is no president. It's just him. And he's got to conduct a spring practice. But for the first 12 minutes, this is what you spend time doing? Matt Rhule. He's doing it. He's doing it. Rhule is not only Nebraska's most important ambassador at the fragile time in the program, with no chancellor, no AD, he's by default Nebraska's most important and most visible employee, period. Yeah, because nobody else is there. And if the AD, who is a through and through Nebraska guy, bounces, it hurts the community because they seen this guy. He was one of them. And now he's in the SEC. The president was like, I'm out of here. I'm going to Ohio State. They still haven't filled any of these positions as I record this podcast. Sensing the leverage that Matt Rhule has, he's used the opportunity to stump for what he wants in the next Nebraska athletics director. And what he wants is someone who will spend more money on football. Okay. Let me get this straight. There's no president. There's no AD. And you want more money for football. Who's going to sign off on that? Really? Honestly. You need an athletic director to approve a budget, submit a budget, and go back and forth and get some concessions on what they're going to go ahead and authorize to be spent on the next athletic year. Because there's nobody in that position. I can't advocate for money. Instead of getting up here advocating for money, you should have started name dropping some athletic directors you want to see take the position. See how that works? Instead of giving down home folksy advice and here's what we are and here's what my wife is doing. Man, look, go get homeboy from Long Beach State. See how that works? Hey, look, we need homegirl from we need them from the Mountain West. Go get homegirl from the Mountain West. Yeah. What about Buddy down in the SEC? He's looking for a change of scenery. Okay. How about that guy who's coming from Connecticut? Yeah, go get him. You got to give some names out to some people you want to fill the spot. Once the spot is filled, then you can start talking about money. You can't have a money conversation and there's nobody to talk to. The people who came out to the spring practice in the press corps, they can't give you more money. What I'd like to see is somebody give us more money. Okay. Okay. I get it. It's just like having a conversation with somebody at lunch. And y'all don't work together, but you tell this person, I need a raise. Okay. Have you asked the people at your job? Yeah, I have no boss and I have no human resources department. You know what they're going to look at you and say? Looks like you need another job. Again, you can't make this up. This is just goofy. So Matt Rhule is advocating for more money. We can't take a step backwards. We have to take a step forward. We have to be unabashed in our desires to be the best. We cannot worry about optics. We cannot worry about what people say. The way you win in college athletics today is you invest. You don't get a return until you invest. All the agriculture across the state, you don't get a harvest unless you sow seed. What the hell is he talking about? I get the metaphor. The farmers are sowing the seed and then they get the harvest. You get your vegetables. I get it. You're telling people that they need to invest. But again, look who you're talking to. You're not talking to the AD. You're not talking to the president. You're talking to the press corps and saying, this is what I want out of the next AD. Okay, drop a guy's name and go get him and then have those conversations. You're not worried about the optics? Clearly you're not worried about the optics because nothing stopped you from asking for money. When there's no AD and there's no president to sign off on any of this. So I know you don't care about the optics. It's so comedy. Like, what? What the hell are you talking about, man? Oh my God. And that didn't stop the mighty wise Matt Rhule, because he was on one. Yeah, homeboy was on it. Whether it's salaries, facilities, upgrades, we need to return to the days where everybody across the country is coming to the University of Nebraska to see how things are being done. When did that ever happen? When did any of that ever happen? The last Nebraska team that I remember was Tommy, what was it? Frazier, and was it Lawrence Phillips? Those are the last two guys that I remember under Tom Osborne. And Tom was just, they were running, I think they was running the option, or I don't know what offense they were. It's been so long, but nobody's coming to Nebraska to see how things are done. Nobody's coming to Nebraska at all to see how things are done in Cornhusker country. And Matt Rhule is delusional. He's delusional. I'm like, come on, man. Come on. You want to know, people want to come to Nebraska to see how things are done. Last year, you were 3-6 in the conference. Nobody wants to see how that's done. Then overall, you were 5-7. Nobody wants to see how that's done. At home, 4-3, and on the road, 1-4. Again, nobody wants to see how that's done. Nobody. And that conference record, That was a four-way tie. That was a four-way tie. Oh my God. Last year, dead last in the Big Ten was Iowa. Overall, Nebraska and Iowa had the same record. They had the same record. Nebraska beat those teams. That's why they were elevated over them. They're nowhere close to the Big Ten. They're nowhere close to the top of the Big Ten. And he's out here advocating for more money. He don't care about the optics. Of course you don't care about the optics. Because you're getting what you want. And you're out here barking on people who can't give you anything. Get an AD, get a president, and then ask. Jeez. I mean, again, people think that I'm being pretty harsh and pretty critical of Matt Rhule, and I'm not. I'm just sitting here letting people know who may not that there's a chain of command. And you can't get a budget if you don't have an athletic director who goes to a president and tries to get that thing approved. Or an athletic, like I said, or an AD who's going to go ahead and spend the money regardless and put pressure on the president with the alumni and the collective. There's just a chain of command you have to follow. There's nothing wrong with saying what you want. There is something wrong with talking to people who can't do anything for you. Oh God, this dude. I'll just sum this paragraph up pretty soon. I'll drop this, and this is me just getting out of here. Whether it's salaries, facilities, upgrades, we need to return to the days, yeah, you heard it, where everybody comes to Nebraska to see how it's done. I just pointed out to you that's how it's done, and nobody wants to see it. I've called Kirby Smart. Why? Why would you call Kirby Smart? Kirby Smart is busy. Kirby Smart has a spring game to prepare for. Kirby Smart has offensive guys to get back up on track. He's got coaches to meet with. He's got expectations to deliver. College football season is here. This is the first day of spring. They're mapping out their spring games. They're trying to put together a starting lineup. They're looking and evaluating who they have, the guys that have transferred into the program. And you're going to bother Kirby Smart with, hey man, can I come down and see how it's done? How long have you been coaching? You coached in the NFL and you still don't know how it's done. God bless. If I'm not making sense, someone tell me. Because when I read this from Doug Samuels, and Doug was all about the rah-rah, fist pumping, USA, fucking hey, Bobby. He was all about that, but I'm like, come on, man. At some point, you just had to ask him, what the hell are you doing this for, man? Just tell the people in Nebraska, we got a good team. We're going to have a better season than next year. We bought in this guy. Go on and on and on about the kids. You use that moment to interject yourself on a soapbox advocating for money from people who can't give it to you. And then you start telling people that you're calling guys in another conference to go down there and see what they're doing, what you're not doing. We sent our performance and nutrition people down to Florida and Alabama. And we want people coming to Lincoln. I'm not going to hold you any longer with why this was a waste of time. And I rather Matt Rhule had very encouraging things to say about the kids that he's got in his system. I'd rather him talk about this year and the positive things that he has. I'd like him to address things in the coaching staff, the scheme. The guys are really energized, and go on about the guys on your staff. Not name drop guys from other conferences. Not send your strength and conditioning guys all over the place. I mean, yeah, okay. Does this do anything for us in the Big Ten? Is this going to help us win more games? I don't know, man. I don't know. It just was weird. It just was weird. Okay, man. We got one final story. We got Clemson and FSU suing the ACC. This is a big burn.